So someone just told me I look like Post Malone, and I don't really believe that. So we're gonna do a side by side here real quick. Damn. All right. Well, I guess your Walmart version of Post Malone now. Are you happy, guys?
Oh, hey, wangless.
Holy shit. Thank you, wangless.
Obviously,
I need less wangless.
Wangless, and I kind of hope it's wangless.
You, yes you, smash like, smash subscribe, smash it all, smash the bits, please. Now that you have vowed to never leave me, let's talk about some game news. What's going on out there that's not COVID related or depressing? Actually, that's most of my news stories, so I guess we'll just continue with whatever else it's pretty, sorry guys, it's rough times out here. But as you may or may not know, I am a giant Halo nerd, so 343 put out an update today from their community manager Unicheck, and it goes over a lot of the things that are being added to Halo MCC still, which is kind of amazing because it's been so long. And I guess Halo 5 and some of the stuff that they're doing, but I don't actually play that game because it's not that good. But we're not going to talk about that. That's just my opinion. Some of the stuff that they're going to actually talk about when they do their Xbox game, there's a real name for it. Whenever they actually show off the Xbox Series X on July 23rd, it's like 9 a.m. my time, so it's going to be an early one. So some of the things that I think are specifically kind of interesting about this, if you actually go through the update here, something that's pretty awesome is they're going to have things in different games for unique customization, stuff like this you can put on the Warthog. They're going to have it for guns, so you can actually change the skins and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad they're actually added in a component for you to actually want to grind for. And another thing that I'm actually excited for, again, as a big Halo stan, is Season 2. There's going to be some challenges for this, and it's Season 1 came out when Reach launched on console and PC, and since you go from level 1 to level 100, and then once you're at level 100 there's 0 more reasons to grind except just because you like Halo. So they're adding in some challenges. As you can see here, there's weekly PvP, weekly PvE, seasonal, and they're going to add in a whole bunch of stuff, and it tracks your challenges, makes it a lot like Halo Reach was, and also, you know, brings in that like MMO component to Halo, which is very needed for something like this, a shooter where you just run at each other over and over again. Can get tiresome, but adding in challenges like this builds in a whole bunch of replay value. So very cool, very cool. One of my Washington homies, Ishi here, he actually has a video that they put out. Shyway, I met Shyway when I went to Anaheim. Very cool guy. Muggsy, who works at 343. They came together and they edited this cool video where it goes over like specifically how Mike hit all of the shots. It's a pretty cool clip. Check it out. Something that is a little troubling to me personally, I search for this. If I do Control F and we type in here crossplay, that's an unpleasant sound here. We're updating games across both platforms. Okay, that's, yep, I remember that from the... Oh, they don't talk about crossplay. So I have an i5 processor, which is poop. We don't like the i5 processor right now.
Hey, Gilmore, you suck, you jackass.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
It's okay. You're doing your best. You're doing your best, little buddy. Not good enough to stream. Even like the super old games, I can't even play CE or Halo 2. So I have to play in console, and there's no crossplay. So basically, it took a very small, dedicated community, like 6 years after the launch of this game that, I mean, you know, to be honest, it didn't launch in the best shape, but that people have stuck around on console and supported it, and they don't have the infrastructure to move to the next thing, are now stuck in console, which it is what it is. I would love an update on crossplay, like when specifically they want to implement it, and if they're not just going to wait till Halo 4, maybe it's never going to happen. Like, they've talked about it, and I think it's designed. It's just, it's not in their new update, which I was hoping to get a more firm answer. But whatever, that's just me being a baby. Big baby, big gamer baby. More game news. We all love Half-Life. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. Or you just haven't played it correctly. Or you're gonna play it again and you're Geoff Keighley, the guy who puts on the game awards every year. I don't know if he actually started as just a straight up reporter or what, but He has a long history of actually working with Valve in order to get the inside scoop on games as they're coming out. And some of the series he's done are these things called the Final Hours. He just came out with one for Half-Life Alyx, which is the VR Half-Life game that Valve released this year, which is amazing. The Valve put out a game in 2020. I think honestly they might have been the reason that all this shit started going downhill. Like, Valve knew if they put out a game that was really awesome, that the world would break. So they've been trying to hold off for years and years. That's my current hypothesis. $10 if you're a Half-Life fan, if you enjoy Steam and not the constant updates, and not the constant ads, and not the weird review bombs, and some of the other weird stuff on there, like the hentai games. Go check it out. It's pretty damn cool. And also something that's really funny to me is that you can check out the entire Geoff Keighley franchise on Steam. Check out the whole collection. What? He makes his own games? No way. What? That's crazy. In some mildly interesting news, the PS5, you guessed it, has box art. And this is how it looks. You get the white and the black. Never done before. It looks kind of interesting, but I just thought I'd show you guys so you could actually take a look and be like, "Whoa, what? That looks so crazy." I can't wait for the new game that's almost like not really a game, but it's kind of a spin-off game and also DLC for the normal PS4, but also it's on PS5. Yeah, it's kind of hard to track. But yeah, mildly interesting. There you go. Hey! Ghosts of Tsushima comes out pretty soon. It's going to be the last big PS4 game that is exclusive to PS4 as far as I'm aware. And apparently Sucker Punch... Oh, Jesus. Is it Sucker Punch? There it is. I almost let all you guys down. Ghosts of Tsushima. Sounds like sushi. It's not. Stop saying it. It's not a funny joke. Akira Kurosawa. He's done a lot of famous films. Seven Samurai is the biggest one I think that he's actually known for, but there's a ton of them in like the 50s and maybe the early 60s that he's very iconic for. So this actually goes into a lot of cool detail. This story, I read it the other day and I thought that I'd talk about it. So basically, they talk about their inspiration and they thought, hey, why don't we go talk to the estate? Because obviously he's not alive anymore. He's making movies in 1954. He died in 1998, like the article says. But as you read the rest of this, it does sound like they really went into like the super nerdy realm and they developed it in the game, which I'm into as a nerd myself. They specifically talk about how it's not just a black and white filter that they put on for like this Kurosawa mode. They basically re-engineered the audio so it sounds more like it would in the 50s. They re-engineered how the actual game itself looks so that it mimics more of a camera that would actually be capturing stuff in the 1950s and the 60s. They changed some of the other gameplay aspects in this mode, so wind is more obvious because it's black and white. There's film grain. If you put on headphones, you know, it sounds more like just like a mono mix, you know, with the other digital sounds are much more up to date with technology. So very interesting that they did this. It seems very cinematic and something that should be definitely improved on with Xbox next generation, being able to use your in-game tools to almost make your own movie. And the machinima aspects and stuff of Halo back in the day, where you could go into theater, I don't think it's being emphasized in a lot of games that are actually on the Xbox ecosystem, or maybe even the Switch. But the PlayStation definitely knows that people like to go and create content with their content, and I'd love to see that come back and flourish with Halo Infinite and some other games. Very cool. I like to read about passionate people doing things that they're passionate about. It's a little bit of inspiration for everyone. Yay, good news. It's not about coronavirus. Something else that I thought was pretty interesting here is that Capcom says 80% of its sales here are digital. So this is something that they actually answered at the annual shareholders meeting here. This is reported by Industry. I can't talk. As reported by GamesIndustry.biz here by Mr. Brendan Sinclair. Seems like 80% of their sales are actually digital. So that's not super surprising because it is 2020. But it kind of is surprising because last year it was about 53%. So it's kind of like, you know, half and half. Now it's like 4-1. So I'm not sure if that's just because of COVID stuff. If that's because of internet just becoming more widestream, becoming more widely available in mainstream. And yeah, games like Monster Hunter World, some of their popular things that are only DLC do contribute to this number. But hey man, I think it shows a giant market shift that we're gonna eventually go almost all digital. It's inevitable at this point. Capcom's showing us it's inevitable at this point. And there's larger revenue that's available from game companies now. They are having to do a lot less, overhead costs. How much does it really cost to do a run of games somewhere in your facility? Make it, get the plastic, put it in a box, give you like the little leaflet. Like they don't even give you the instruction manual anymore. Ship a bunch of them all over the place. Does that really make the people who, the publishers or the first party people, does it make them a lot of money? Like it costs a lot to do that. And that cost is going to go away. So what do you do about this? Remember that. Store that in your brain for the next time you hear someone argue that games should be $69.99 or more. Because, hey, no. It costs them less money. They have a lot of other technologies developed. Sure, games do cost sometimes they cost more money than they used to. But a lot of that cost is cost that the advertisers themselves incur. Their marketing, research and development, and other things they don't necessarily need to do. And kind of why at this point in time I really want to just try to play more indie games going forward, because it seems to be that's where all the original ideas are anyway. But don't listen to anyone, and don't let them say microtransactions will make the game, if they would be removed. Yeah, don't even go down that path. So anyway, really the biggest thing here is I'm very sad. This is bad news for GameStop. I don't know what GameStop's gonna do. Oh wait, I don't care. They're awful. They're awful scum of the earth. They rip off children all over the place. They give them like $3 for their PlayStations. It's ridiculous. Good riddance, I say. But it is going to be sad not being able to just have a bunch of discs open. New game time. New game time. Superhot. It is getting something, I'm not sure if it's a full-on expansion or a new game, or just more of the same game, called Mind Control Delete. Kind of like Control Alt Delete. It's pretty clever. I gotta like it. It's out on July 16th. Game is amazing. The first game is amazing. If you haven't played it, go play it now. Why are you even watching this stupid video? Really unique design. As you can see right there. Very interesting. And yeah, go play it on the original VR on the PC or even PSVR if you're poor like me. If you're looking for some good content, I would suggest Hidden Experience interview with Marty O'Donnell. Now, who's Marty O'Donnell? You don't deserve to be in this chat room if you don't know who. Chat room? Chat room? What is this? 2000? You don't deserve to be watching this video. You better leave a good comment. It's about 2 hours long. It's an hour and 56 minutes. Marty gets into some spicy topics. And as a person who's worked in a corporate environment for about 10 years now, there are a lot of true things that Marty O'Donnell says just about the nature of corporations and working for companies that are kind of against a creative archetype that he obviously is. I think it's a very good thing for people to watch if they do not have a lot of experience in a professional work setting, and also just is super interesting. There's a ton of details about how music, it's basically just a Q&A, and it's really good. Would highly recommend. And it's 2 hours long. It's almost like just a giant podcast. So yeah, go check it out and go find Marty O'Donnell's YouTube channel and make sure he gets 100,000 people, because he just wants a check mark and He's provided all of us with maybe some of the best music of any video games ever. So that's the very least we could do. Smash subscribe! Shout out to my boy Hassan here, the Hashhawk. He's trying to do daily vlogs and just someone that I enjoy his content. He is a video editor for other people, but he's trying to actually make like his own thing. And yeah, go check it out. There's going to be a link, I guess, in somewhere, probably wherever the actual the video ends up. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. That's pretty much all I got. See ya. Bye. Why are you still here? Go! Get out! Go away! Shoo!